Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Chaos-Reighn here. Today I am here to bring you a little bit of standard farming progress and to kind of show you guys exactly what I'm dealing with on my plans for League farming. Now, as you guys know, that Harbinger has been relatively nerfed, if not nerfed to the floor, and as such I'll kind of go over why and how. First things first is the big thing that Harbinger's been nerfed with is the fact that Harbinger doesn't spawn as many rares as it used to. Now I have heard some other things from people that they're running a headhunter with Harbingers and not getting as many buffs and whatnot, and well, that's obvious. There's rares, but there's drastically less. In my last video, I kind of showed you the loot from the map. Unfortunately, the watchstones I have are out on loan, but I can kind of show you exactly what I mean by basically spawning a decent amount of Harbingers. Let's go to my hideout. Decent amount of Harbingers in a map to show you exactly, what you're looking at and why there's that discrepancy. Now, the other thing I have heard was that people are guessing that there is a nerf going on, and the nerf is with the headhunter, and while they were guessing this, they were also testing the harbingers. Well, I'll be the first to say that that may be, but I didn't notice it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to roll and spam a whole bunch of currency to try and get the Nemesis 3 currency modifier. So let's go ahead and roll this up. And then we need to make sure we get beyond. So beyond or nemesis, I guess, but preferably beyond. If I get nemesis, I can like put another mod on. It's not a big deal. Let me see what I get here. Now, obviously, we are in standard again. We are here showing our findings and personal testings with the Harbinger farm, and this will kind of show you exactly what you're going to look forward to and or miss via this league if you're going to be doing Harbinger farm. I'm going to show you my watchstones so you guys can see exactly the kind of watchstones I'm running. Alright, we rolled Nemesis, so we're just going to keep that. And let's go ahead and try and roll some sextants. How about that? No, I just rolled over Sacred Growth. That's fine, though. So let's see. Fire damage. Alright, let's just roll them. Fire damage. I don't care about that. Metamorph. Elfos. Hunter Traders is fine. Smugglers, Cash is whatever. Cold damage. Alright. Let's go ahead and see if we can sextant block, because we do have a lot of watchstone modifiers that we can hit, so just so you guys can see exactly how I farmed it last league too. So right here we have lightning, cold, and then we need one more. It's chaos and chaos screen, that's fine. Okay. And basically all we're going to do here is try and roll Nemesis 3 currency to kind of show you. As you can see here, we have areas have 15% chance to contain an additional Harbinger. Now this is a overall chance, and or I believe, I don't know if it still works this way, but back when I was doing it, they stacked, meaning you can have 4 additional Harbingers. I could be wrong though, it could be 1, or maybe they changed it, but I've noticed a lot of Harbingers in a map before. But we're leagues past that, so right now we're just going to try and roll into Nemesis 3. Another thing I will be mentioning is that Nemesis 3 currency has been extremely nerfed, as in the rarity of it. This will be my 3rd or 4th time attempting to roll it. Whereas in before I would spend 30 or 40 sextants and maybe hit it once or twice. Now I spend upwards of 150 to 200 if I'm lucky. Now, this is standard again, so I'm not worried about my currency in standard, but just so you guys can see, you know, firsthand what I'm going through, and just so you can see I am blocking the 3 elemental sextants. I'm still hitting the fire one. We have a Legion encounter, that's not bad. That's a good one. That one's been nerfed too, I feel, but I mean, I could be wrong about that one. And as you see, we're starting to dip into our sextants in our our stash tab, so let's try again. Fire damage. Ritual altars, I feel like that's okay. See if we can't roll it once at least. Alright. Now, as you see, they have really nerfed the amount of times and rate that you get this modifier. It's a crying shame. It means that getting this modifier is no longer going to be a profitable way to do things. Ah, we just hit it. Okay. So all in all, I think I started with around 900, and it was about 130-ish, I think. So it was pretty, a lot. It was a lot. It was at least 100. So needless to say, it is not a viable and cheap method to do this. Now we're going to go ahead and show you if it's a good method. Now the watchstones I have currently are Harbingers, drop rare valuable currency, along with additional Harbinger here, along with Platinum Valdos for here, and then Mirror Delirium here. Now since we have Nemesis rolled on our map, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pay for the infused Harbinger, because I still have it. Or actually, let me see if there's a better mod that I can just use. I can't do Ritual Delirium because I literally cannot put them on right now. I haven't gone and done enough maps in Standard to get those unlocked yet. But let's see here. I could do this for quantity. Okay. Well, I'll just do this to show you guys kind of, you know, how bad it's been nerfed. I'm going to run Nemesis on my map device along with Infused Harbinger. I'll go ahead and use a Winged Harbinger Scarab, a Gilded Breach. We'll just go ahead and throw Elder and a Legion on there. Let's go ahead and throw the Winged Legion because I have plenty of those. And we're just going to pop everything back in. And we're going to run Alva like always, and then run an Infused Harbinger. Now, I have a lot of Infused Harbinger crafts, so obviously I can do this, you know, a lot, and make a lot of currency in Standard. However, I will say that this whole investment, like this is 2x, this is 2x, you know, these are all pretty expensive. You saw how many Scours and Alks it took me. We're on Day 4 of League, so don't expect to do this easily, or, you know, anytime soon. I'm doing this mainly as a debunk on, you know, how good or bad the Harbinger farm is, just so you guys can see firsthand. And I'm going to be juicing it to the max so you guys can see, you know, the comparison between this league and last league. If you guys have any, you know, any input on anything, you're free to, you know, say, hey, you forgot this, hey, do this, hey, try this. I'm more than willing to listen and, you know, give it a shot. Again, here I am using the Infused Harbinger and the Winged Harbinger Scarab to kind of show you an equal comparison between this league and last league. If you saw my videos last league, you saw I was bringing a raw average amount of 2 exalts back with a ton of bubblegum currency. And we're going to go ahead and see this firsthand as a test, running the exact same method to see how good or bad this is. So, as I said, I have heard a couple of rumors about, you know, Harbingers, and I have tested Harbingers, so I'm going to tell you my tests as I'm doing it so you guys aren't bored just watching me do it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So we have Alva, we have Infused Harbinger, let's get cracking. So first things first, I'm going to tell you that The Harbinger maps have been nerfed. They haven't been nerfed the way people think they've been nerfed, but they've been nerfed. I don't have my rare monsters drop additional currency. I instead have additional harbingers and an auspicious, which drops rare value currency shards. Now, in my last video, I believe I said that they had nerfed the auspicious, or they had maybe tweaked it or something to where it wasn't working the way it should be, or I don't know exactly what I said, but I will say that it felt that way, and I did run a couple of maps. However, I did run 3 maps today, and I was getting exalt shards every single map, and it was about a half an X every single map. Now this costed me obviously scarabs, and I wasn't using infused harbinger. I was just using the nemesis for, you know, to test out some other thing. Another rumor, or another thing I will discuss, is that I have heard that the headhunter has been shadow nerfed, and I have no idea if this is true or false, but I'm going to be testing it firsthand here so you guys can see it. First, let's go ahead and get our frenzy charges up. And now, rock the races. Looks like we got a Conqueror Pop, that's cool. You know, we got Soul Eater, and this is about what you could expect with Harbingers. You get lagged out. Now, the way they had nerfed Harbingers, from my understanding, was that it wasn't necessarily the drop rate of the Harbingers. The drop rate hasn't been touched. All the drop rates in the game, to my knowledge, have been the same as last league, meaning Headhunter is still a crazy, crazy, crazy hard to find item unless you buy the cards one by one. However, what they did nerf is the amount of rares that the King Harbingers spawn. Unfortunately, you didn't really get a good sight of that because I just, you know, died to invisible whatever I died to, which is, you know, par for the course if you're playing these Harbinger maps, especially with a Delirium Mirror on it. You know, you're not going to see a lot of stuff. What I will do is when I enter the map, I'm going to pause and turn off my sound effects, and if I do that, it should lower the lag, and you'll be able to see a little bit better. However, I will say, you know, point out that this is another issue that console has, at least the PlayStation 4. I have no idea if the PlayStation 5 has this, and this has been a thing for many, many leagues. Excuse me, sorry about that. As you see, we are still loading into Wasteful. It's taking forever. Alright, we're going to go options, sound. We're going to turn off... It's master volume? No. Alright. Options. Sound effects volume all the way down. I don't really care about the Delirium Mirror, so we're just going to... There we go. Sound effects are down. Let's see, what is this? This is a minion life. I'll take it. Sure. Alright. So, anyway, the way they had nerfed the Harbingers is they actually just said, we're going to give you the Harbingers still, but the King Harbingers aren't spawning as many rares. Instead, they're spawning fewer, more stronger rares. So, I can understand why there is a mistake of, hey, Harbingers are just done. Oh, I just dropped an Exalt, so oops. Harbingers are done, but I will say that that's not necessarily true. You can still farm them and find a lot of currency, but you're not going to basically be able to do the whole Nemesis 3 and have like 100 exalts by day 4 or 5 or 6 of League anymore, because the investment to get to the point that I'm here is astronomical. I will try to do this on a budget and show you guys what it looks like on a budget using just like a Rusted Harbinger Scarab with Nemesis 3 afterwards, and post the results and video like that there. Unfortunately, I died again. The part for the course of being a ranger and not being able to see your enemies is that, you know, you just end up dying. Let's go ahead and rock this and see if we can't, you know, do a little more than the first few steps of the map. Unfortunately, that's just what you got to be used to at this point. Alright, let's go ahead and collect our exalts real quick. Then we can worry about the rest of the stuff later. That's another thing. See that fireball there? That fireball didn't render. That's been going on since the last patch. Whereas the fireballs are just like little glows and I can't really see them. So if you guys are having that same issue on console, I'm sorry. It sucks. But just be careful. Don't want to lose your whole shit because, you know, an invisible fireball came up and killed you. So as you can see here, I'm addressing one of the rumors that I had heard about, and that is that the Headhunter has been nerfed. More specifically, I had heard that you are unable to stack buffs and you know, stuff like that. As you see, that is not the case. I have 2 or 3 speed buffs now. I have you know, I have 30 buffs or so as is. The King Harbingers are still paying out. I'm just not going to get the really ridiculous amount of buffs that I was able to get before, which was, you know, initially it was at 100, and then before that it was like 60 or 70. Now, like, you're going to look at 30 buffs and maybe think that's good. Initially, when they had this going on, it was 2 leagues ago in Ritual League. And in Ritual League, basically, you would sit there and kill the mobs, and in one mob without self-curse, you would have over 100 buffs, if you guys remember that. Now, last league, you would have maybe 50 or 60. They toned it down a bit. This league, I mean, I've done a couple of tests in Standard and really, you know, messed around with a lot of the stuff. And I will say that there is, you know, there is absolutely no doubt that they nerfed Harbingers again. So if you're just not used to the new Harbingers, obviously you're not going to be getting insane buffs like you were. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. As far as the loot for the Harbingers go, you might be SOL there too. And as I go here, as I show you all the loot, I'll explain why and how and everything. Once again, to kind of give you guys a heads up of exactly what's going on with this farming method. Now, I do enjoy posting these kind of videos and just kind of covering the nerfs, buffs, and everything like that in real time to show you exactly, you know, what you can expect from this. And this is going to be a maxed out investment, obviously. This is like if you have 2 or 3 exalts plus to dump into a map and you want to try and make a profit off of it. But as you saw there, that was a 2+ exalt setup, not including the sextants, not including both legions, you know, the winged legion. It was just 2 exalts with the 1 scarab. Okay, so now we have to see if we get the 2 exalts back, just that, without even worrying about the additional scarabs and everything like that. See, as you see there, we had 36 buffs. Like, we were stacking buffs. It happens. You can still stack buffs on Headhunter, guys. Don't think you can't. See, I'm still running around like a crackhead. I just don't have 4 quadrillion buffs because there's not that many rares that come out. Alright, let's see. So, let's take into account everything I've said so far. They have nerfed the Harbingers by basically, you know, giving you less rares, meaning there's less chances for the Nemesis 3 currency to pop. So as such, you have to, you know, you have to kind of think for yourself, is this still worth it? Should I still do this? And you're going to see for yourself exactly if it is. First thing, as I said, the initial Harbinger Scarab, at least in last league, I don't know how much it's going to be worth this league, because I don't even know if people are going to use it compared to everything. And if they do use it, it's probably going to still have the inflated price from last league. But we'll go ahead and call it 1 exalt, okay? We'll say not infused harbinger, you know what I mean, the winged harbinger scarab is 1 exalt. Then you have to think that I was running an infused harbinger scarab, which or infused harbinger craft, which is a very rare craft. Usually I see every other craft multiple times before I see 1 infused harbinger craft. All right, so then you have to take that and you have to you know, you have to say, all right, well, you only see this craft 1 or 2 times, and It's a very rare craft. It's not like I can, get this craft all the time. So even if I were to farm harvest, like for, a whole day, I may end up with one of the crafts. And that's pretty close to accurate, if not like, sometimes I'll end up with 2 or 3, okay? So let's say we do that. Then we have to take into the account that harvest is not on the map device anymore. So farming Infused Harbinger is going to be absolutely terrible. So basically it's going to be if you get it, you get it. If you don't, well, sorry, bro. Meaning that, when you do get it, you want to save it for maps like this, but, we're going to get into the cost of running the map versus the cost of what you get back. So we're going to go ahead and we already deposited everything. Cool. What is that? Divine Orb? It is not. It is an Elder Sword. Okay. So was that all 3? That was 2 of my 3 Alvas, so we have 1 more Alva.
I'm not up to that just yet.
I don't remember where she was, though. Now, if you can't tell, I'm just kind of going by here to kind of show you exactly the loot. You can tell by the amount of beams of light what the difference in loot is. It's completely changed. It is not worth it. Do not, and I repeat this, do not do this. Do not put yourself through the trouble of trying to spend all this currency. If you want to, you are free to. But please be aware that, please be aware that this is no longer worth it, and it probably shouldn't cost this much to do all this. So yeah. Let's see. So alright, so we've already done everything in here. We're gonna go ahead and see what's out here.
Good job, Exo.
Alright. So now we start looting, and
My mana is gone.
I'll reiterate over because just in case you guys need the information and a first-hand account, this was using 1 winged Harbinger Scarab, 1 winged divinations or winged Legion Scarab. So initial investment as it sits, we'll say 2 exalts if you're lucky. We were using 1 gilded, what was it, breach scarab, which is 30-40C. We are using 1 gilded elder scarab, which is about 10C. So just in that cost, we'll go ahead and say that's 2x plus let's say 40C on the low end. You're looking at if I were to put a number, you're looking at 30, 40, 2x 30, 40, the map, how much it cost. Let's say that is we'll say 4. Oh, I just found a barracks respite. That's interesting. Anyway, we're looking at a total of like 5 exalts. So we have to make 5 exalts in currency via this whole setup, and kind of hopefully we make that back. Now this isn't including the currency that I spent on sextants. Okay, we'll say the sextants are the same as last league's, just an example, are 50 to 1 exalt. Okay, so we spent about 100 on the low end. We'll just say 100 so we don't like underestimate. So that's 2 exalts. We're looking at 6 exalts. So we have to make 6 exalts in this map to basically break even with with what we spent to put into it. And we also had 2 legions, we also had some breaches and everything like that. So let's go ahead and just kind of see what we got with all that and add it up, and you guys can tell me if you think this was worth it.
That would only slow me down.
I am full. Boo. What do I want to drop? You know what? Let's just drop some maps. I have so many maps in standard. It's fine. Let me reply to my guildmate so I can let him whisper. Currently recording a video. Will be done soon. Thanks. Alright. There we go. So, basically, we have we have to make 5 exalts, okay? Now, at League exalt prices at 80 chaos to 1 exalt, we're going to kind of see exactly, how much we make. And I'll just, we'll just not count, we'll just count the maps as 10 chaos each, just because. We'll just say, you know what, we'll just ignore the maps. We'll pretend they don't exist because this is a full atlas, and if we're doing this at League start, we're not going to get this kind of map sustain. Sorry, I don't want to double back on my word, but we're just going to do it, okay? Now, as you see, our Alva really didn't give us anything. Really didn't give us
That will
anything.
only slow
That's
you down.
unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Just go ahead and grab this here. Let's ignore the maps, like I said. Chromatic. Okay. I think we're about done. And as you guys see, the further I'm going, the more and more, disparity there is of, are you going to make your currency back? It's probably a no, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and drop it up to 4. Then we'll go ahead and drop all the whetstones. I'll drop my jewelers because I don't need any more jewelers. Drop the bindings. Drop those. I like those. They're pretty. That. What else? That. And that. Okay. Even though I probably need them for crafting later, it's fine. We'll just
My
leave that
mana
there
is
because
gone.
we'll walk back to that pile so you guys can see exactly what we found overall, including the stuff we didn't pick up, and that way you guys can, think for yourselves and be like, is it worth it? Yes or no. Okay. My opinion, again, this is my opinion. It is not worth it. Don't do this. This is definitely not worth it. So, yeah. Alright. Alright, so let's see. We're going to open our inventory. We have 17 chaos. 1 exalt. Couple of these. 2 ancient orbs. Couple of these. 1 contract. We're going to ignore the barracks respite because the barracks respite was a random drop, and, we're not going to calculate that into profits. But 5 exalt shards, almost forgot that. So we made 1.25 exalts there, plus 17 chaos, almost a fourth. So we'll just say we made 1.5 exalts off of, easy currency. A couple chaos there, and I would say it was a flat out no. This is definitely not worth it. Now, remember, we still have 3 more uses of the sextant. However, even if we use all 3 uses of the sextant, we still paid 4 exalts, or 3 or so exalts, in scarabs on this one map. So, if you're talking just the sextants, yeah, I made my exalt back. Hooray. If you're talking the sextants and the scarabs and everything like that per 4 maps, well, if I were to do this 4 maps in a row, you're looking at, was that, let's say 3 exalts. We'll just round it to 3 exalts for the scarabs, right? 3 times 4 would be 12 exalts, okay? That's just on the map. Will I get 12 exalts in 4 maps? Honestly, I'm doubtful. I barely broke 1.5 in raw currency, and that's pushing it. Really, really pushing it. So, is New Harbingers worth it? Yes. Is Headhunter nerfed? No. It's the same. Do I recommend this farm to anyone? Absolutely not. What kind of farm do I recommend? Well, you can still farm valdos, and I'll go over exactly how good or bad valdos is in my opinion in my next video. However, there is there's a little caveat that's going to be very expensive to get it started. Unfortunately, it's not like last league where I could just go on a super budget and grind out hundreds of exalts in a couple of days and end up affording a whole build and then some to start, buying some fancy stuff. So, would I recommend this again? No, I will not. Even if you count all the currency on the floor, I would count my whole inventory plus all the currency on the floor at about 2 exalts? 2.5? Maybe. I mean, might be more. I'm doubtful, but might be. We did get 2 in Ols, but they're only like 2 or 3 C. So, you guys decide for yourselves. If you think that I am off in my numbers, feel free to tell me. If you think that, you know, if you think that I'm not doing it right, feel free to tell me. Now, I have done this with the Nemesis, or the rare monsters drop additional currency stacks, or currency shards. I ran 4 of those, and I had literally the exact same results, except I didn't get as many Exalt shards, I got 1. And this was mainly because of Auspicious, and I'll get into that with my next video on exactly what you know, what to look for if you're going to be doing this kind of farming method, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and go to town. I'm not killing the boss, even though the boss I think has an extra Harbinger on it. You know what? We'll go kill the boss because, you know, just so we can humor and say we did everything in there. Just, let me go back in without, you know, touching my stash real quick. That way, you know, just so you guys can be like, oh, you forgot the boss stream, it had a Harbinger there. Oh, you didn't count that into your profits. Well, first and foremost, it's only a 30% chance that the Harbinger becomes a King Harbinger, and the King Harbinger doesn't spawn as many rares as it used to. Instead, it spawns a drastically reduced amount of rares that are instead buffed. And what I mean by buffed is that not necessarily they have more buffs, but their base damages are buffed. And then they have the Nemesis buffs, and then they have the Harbinger buffs, and then they have the Harbinger skills. So that's basically what they did with them. I could be wrong on exactly how they buffed them, but that's the way it feels when I fight them. Of course, on this character, I don't really fight them. I just literally kill them, and I don't even notice they're there. But let's go ahead and see. Okay, so we have a regular little Harbinger. Let's go ahead and count how many pops. That's 1 pop of currency, 2 pops of currency, 3 pops of currency, 4 pops of currency. Uh-huh. See? This is exactly how much currency you get from a Harbinger. I don't think that was a king. If it was, that's even sadder. But that's what I'm missing. So let me go ahead and pick this up. And there you go. That's my inventory. I'll even kill the boss. I'll even show you guys that, you know, the boss drops currency shards. Maybe he drops an Exalt shard, okay? Let's cover all our bases. Why not? Die, please. Thank you. Another ancient shard. Cool. We actually have a metamorph here. Okay. Let's go ahead and kill the metamorph. I want that Chaos shard. I want that Chaos shard. Okay. Please die. Thank you. Alright. What did we get? So let's go ahead and pick up all this currency and see if it, you know, pays off. Obviously we can't pick up the catalyst because we're full. Let's pick up what we can pick up, and then we'll start dropping the blessed orbs, alchemy, chisels, this. Drop all the stuff we have a lot of in the standard. We have a lot of everything in standard, but just so you guys can kind of see. Alright, so now, taking into the account that this was a random metamorph spawn, I didn't add the metamorph to my map. We'll just, you know, remove these for RNG, I guess. This is like 10, 15C, whatever. We'll just throw that on the floor, okay? But if you look, again, we spent 4, 5 plus exalts on 1 map. Scour, alking, running the scarabs, everything like that. Obviously, you chisel it. Everything, all of that adds up. You have to roll it till you hit Nemesis so you can actually use the Nemesis 3 currency. And then you have to continue and run Infused Harbinger, which is again going to be extremely hard to find. And I always say I value it at like 1x per Infused Harbinger. I still stand by that. So we'll look at this, like, let's say we didn't have the 2-stone ring and whatnot. Even then, even the Exalt was really lucky, but we'll count the Exalt. If you look at everything we have here on the floor, you look at my inventory, and then even if we go back to our other pile, we still did not make our money back. And this map was relatively juicy. Now you could say, oh, you didn't run Delirium. Delirium adds so much more. Alright, well, Delirium Orbs in League are like 40 to 50 C each, if not more. And getting them on console is a nightmare. If you can get them on console, you're sitting pretty. You can sit there and get a ton of currency off that. But chances of you getting it on console, on early league, it's not going to happen. Late league, yeah, you can probably get a whole bunch. You can farm them yourself. They're easy to farm. They're a little bit harder now, but they're still easy to farm. So, yep, again, no, I will not recommend this farming method to anyone. I'm sorry, it's just done. Well, this has been me just ranting a little bit, showing you guys the new Harbinger farming firsthand, just so you guys can kind of see exactly what you're doing, what you're needing, what you're not needing, so on and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and deposit all of my currency into my currency tab real quick, and go ahead and just leave everything here. Just real quick, and there we go. Let's go to my, put that tab first and just do this. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, anyone offers? Nope. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching my video. I will repeat, this is in standard. This is my standard mirror tier eyeshot build. I am doing this in a test, and only a test, to show you guys exactly what you are doing, missing, not missing, etc., when you do this farm. And I will be showing you other farming methods coming soon on what you can do to make the most out of this area and what you should look forward to while farming. So without further ado, this has been Chaos-Reighn. I do appreciate you guys joining me here today, and I will be posting again 2 times a day, and I did plan on streaming every day since League start, but it's just been a little bit awkward, a little bit different, a little bit crazy. I've had a lot of weird things happen, and I have had a very amazing League start. I love the new League mechanic, and I will be definitely showing you guys more about that soon. But I'm just pretty much trying to figure out what I'm going to farm, and I'm doing that by being in standard. I know this video is a little bit longer. If you did stay around to this point, thanks again. Appreciate it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. And, you know, if it doesn't hurt, if you do like the content, click that little bell. You know, it'll mean a lot. It'll mean that, you know, I have a few more people who do enjoy my content. This is Chaos-Reighn, the PlayStation 4 Ice Shot player. If you guys ever want to know how to build the build, I will be glad to build it for you, and step by step. I have been asked by a couple people to show what the early game would look like and what you can do on a budget using just regular gems, 4 link, 5 link, 6 link, so on and so forth, and how to level with it. I will say it's not going to be easy thanks to the axe being buffed, but it'll still be a pretty good and pretty cheap method of getting a relatively decent setup for iShot. Thanks again so much for watching, and as always, you guys have a good one and take it easy.